Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast. Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
Here we go. Number 4, sponsor spotlight. Sitting down with AccuAir and CPP. Kind of a cool situation. Reno Heon was in town, rolled over, hung out, surprised me. We kind of talked, but he said, hey, why don't I just do this thing in studio? That's the kind of people we're dealing with here. Rad dudes. So I was honored for Reno to stop by and hang out, and we got a little content for you. So our sponsor spotlight, number 4, wrapping it up, AccuAir and Classic Performance Products, CPP, sitting down and getting going. So a lot going on over here. We're getting ready for C10s in the trailer park. So C10s in the park, heading over to Texas, Waxahachie, and that'll be September 15th. So we're getting Yellowstone ready to go. Going to change things up. I've been talking about getting this 4L80 in, a little overdrive action, getting a little Terminator, the Holley Performance. So what happens is, to go fuel injection, it made sense for me to go to the Terminator versus the Sniper, because the Terminator has the module that will talk to the 4L80 because it's an electronic transmission. So if you don't go with like a Terminator, then you have to buy that electric module to do that, to talk. You know, you've got like essentially a carburetor, analog, and you need to talk to the digital, the computerized transmission. So we'll see how it shakes out. I've got the GC cooling radiator. I thought same thing. If I cut down on my fan clutch, there's horsepower. If I, convert over from carburation to throttle body, and then we're getting that extra gear. So we'll see. Now, I'm not sure what kind of horsepower 4L80 will take versus a 400. I could tell you I just over at Pro Dyno last night, and she dynoed, or he, Yellowstone, dynoed 225 and 309. So Charles seemed to think from Pro Dyno that it might not really add all that much horsepower, because that's not what throttle body really does, although we are taking some away with like the fan clutch. But we're obviously just going to get a lot better fuel mileage. So I would say as many trips as I've made with Yellowstone, I'm going to say my average is 8.5. Obviously, if I've got the big house on the back versus Yellowstone Light with the wind splitter, the canoe, a little different. And that's how I plan on taking to C10s in the trailer park. So that's my plan, and we'll see how it all shakes out. So follow along on Instagram, and I'm going to write a tech on it. I'll put it all together, and that'll be kind of what we do. We see what we can do. The big thing right now seems to be fuel. So because I'm running the dual tanks, you've got low pressure tanks, you got to go to high pressure, and then you've got, the 87 fuel tanks. 87 was the first year throttle body. So last year of square bodies, kind of, because they do go up to 91, but they go up to that's next year's 88's OBS. So throttle body in 87. So if you get that fuel tank, and then you got to get the right sending unit, and then you got to fuel pump it up. So there's a lot of different articles. There's a lot of stuff out there. Right now, I've got Johnny G, thank God, on board, and we're kind of deciphering through all this, and then it'll all shake out, and we'll see what works. So a few different things, just trying to get better fuel mileage and see how it all shakes out. All right, you guys, sponsor spotlight number 4. Thanks for supporting those that support us. Check it out. Hope you dig it. Please let me know. And hopefully I could sit down with Adam today or tomorrow, and we can get this Adam's polish interview done for you guys and get that out next week. Obviously, Friday would be first ride Friday, and then Tuesday would be the actual interview, if I can make that happen either today or tomorrow with Adam. So have a great week. Hopefully I'll be back on Friday with that, and we'll see. Otherwise, next week. All right, guys. Late. All right. Big time honored here. So we got a special guest in studio. Reno Heon and the AccuAir team. We don't have the full team, but we do have Reno. Reno stopped by today. He's in the Valley of the Sun and making some rounds on vacation, but obviously working. So I told him we were going to do this kind of sponsor support, sponsor spotlight, and I thought we would check in on everything AccuAir, and obviously that means a lot of endo love. So thanks for stopping by, dude.
Thanks for having me. It's the real deal around here, and a lot of projects all around the yard. I love it.
No trucks. There's no trucks. People are always like, every time somebody comes by, they're like, I don't think I knew there was this many trucks, but I'm going to sell. I need to get rid of some stuff. So well, let's talk AccuAir. What's the latest?
New and exciting? Well, I think the big thing is CVT, man. It's rolling. It's in the field. It's in the market, and it's kicking butt, man. So stoked to finally be at this point. It was a battle, I'm not going to lie. Like we have this zero compromise mentality, and a lot of times that means it's going to take longer than you want, and that product itself there's a lot to it. It's complex, and there were plenty of hurdles right at the end to just, get things dialed in, get things worked out, get all the little bugs out. And so we're super thankful that we got so many loyal, awesome customers that were patient with us, that we got a ton of pre-orders, ton of interest in that product at SEMA last year, and so everybody was nice and patient while we were getting all the little things ironed out, and then we had to get it ramped up to production speed, which is harder than you would think. We had to create all new processes, we added 20 people to our team, so we're training people, new processes, building fixtures, building jigs, testing equipment. It just took a long time. So, but now I'm in a good spot. It's the only way I can be on vacation, right? It's been 2 years. I got a little one that was born in January, and so got the opportunity to come out here to the Phoenix area, which I've never really spent a lot of time, and figured, hey, if I don't do it now, SEMA's around the corner, and I'm not going to do it. So, got to make my way out and see some shiny faces, some good friends like yourself, and it's been really cool, man. This is actually a really cool area. I don't know how it is all year long, but summertime is cool. It's just, dry and hot, and the truck scene is thriving here, dude. I am really amazed at how much love there is for all these classic trucks, which is just super cool. So
it'd be cool if you could almost make this. I mean, I can only imagine from all the customers that you have. No, well, kind of like your distributors and the guys that and you work with, and now you're like, it's like, yeah, Phoenix has got a pretty big share of the market. It's almost like, hey, babe, we're going to do vacation.
Yeah, right. And I might have tricked her a little bit. Like, she's probably not too happy with me right now because I've been running around for a couple of days seeing everybody. But it's really cool because, at SEMA, that's kind of our one time a year we get to plug in with people, and we don't get that much time. It's so busy. So just stopping by some shops and getting to kind of see everybody's digs is pretty sweet. So, but yeah, I mean, back to the CVT, like it's pretty sweet, man. For me, like, kind of like, I feel like the father in a way of, like, you let your like kid out into the world and you're hoping for the best. We can, test like crazy, and it's been on my car for, almost a year, and you go through all these stages, but you don't know until it gets into the field how people are going to like it, how it's going to install, like, little things. And it's been incredible so far. The feedback is like just blowing my mind. And it's really cool to see like the before and afters. Somebody will shoot a video of like just how their compressors used to sound and how they sound now. And just seeing, people talk about the product just completely outside of us. I mean, you just see positive feedback, and it makes me feel good. It's, it's definitely feels like it was worth all the 2.5 years worth of seriously hard effort. But I think it's a big deal. I think it's how, it's kind of night and day for air suspension. Like, compressors have always been this nagging, noise, just kind of a drawback. People, especially in, you get in a nice high-end vehicle and, you start it up and then you just hear this, bah. It's kind of like, somebody that's not, doesn't have an association with air suspension. They're like, what the hell is that sound? Yeah. It doesn't even match with the rest of the vehicle. And so, I really feel like CVT is that kind of what air suspension always should have had. And I think it's going to allow it to become more accepted and just more, bigger overall picture for air suspension, hopefully.
One of the things you told me, going back to one of our conversations, was that, we wanted it to be ready at this time, and unfortunately we just didn't get it there. You even heard my wife, say to me, like, well, your management of time, guys are so funny. It's like, well, that'll take a month. And she's like, well, let's try 6 months.
Yeah.
Some reason, I don't know the way we are built, but I remember you saying, we're going to build the best product, and when it's ready, then we're going to put it out. And it's cool to think that the audience, the builders, the buyers, they waited, and now that wait has been worth it because they got the best. It's sound, it's ready, it's rocking. Your kid, your baby that you created, and it's not running back home.
Yeah, and I mean, those guys that like trusted us, you know what I mean, that did their pre-orders, trusted us to come through, they're in a cool spot because they got the first, newest, baddest, coolest shit on their trucks and their cars. So hopefully it's like a win-win, and hopefully, I feel, and hopefully, a lot of our customers feel like this is like a team effort. So, for us to succeed, we need customers buying stuff. And so for us to create a new badass product like that, we need the customers to be pre-ordering, because it's got to justify all the investment that we're doing. So it was kind of a back and forth kind of thing, like a give and take. But I feel like, we have some really loyal customers. It's awesome. And I feel like I see them take pride in our products, and they should. Like, it really is something that like we're all creating together. So, and it really, a lot of our product ideas and designs are based around what the market feedback is, and what, and that's why I'm passionate about the scene and the culture and the people, and I want to be involved to get that kind of firsthand feedback and see, what we should really be building around the corner that's going to be the best solution, So we want air suspension to stay big forever. I think it can. It's just we have to continuously evolve the products to do that. And I think CVT, it simplifies so many things that used to be installed as separate components, which could essentially be considered separate problems. On an install, you have all these different things you are dealing with and things that could go wrong. And we've turned that into like one unit. You plug it in, and it's hard to get it wrong. Now there's plenty of complexity inside, but we're doing all of that testing, at multiple stages along the way. So when we ship something, we know it's dialed in. And
it's funny to think like we're going to be at this point where, my son, it could be right around the corner where we're installing a CVT, and it's like, well, back in the old days, and you're like, well, what the hell do you mean? It's like, no, really, this is how it used to be.
Right.
And we hear that now. Your parents said that. My grandparents. We have friends. It's like, even in the fire department, we have young guys coming like, no, this is how we used to do it, and it's like, what? Like, and that could be essentially. Well,
so in a way, I mean, even in my history, so E-level is kind of like that, right? Because before E-level, it was like switches and gauges, and you were just trying to get the thing somewhat to a height that was drivable. And now to not have some sort of a control system would be crazy. Like, nobody's really thinking about a switch and a gauge anymore. And so I feel like E-level has been a big part of like that evolution.
Yeah.
I think CVT is the next part of that. It's another big part of it, and there will be more. I mean, there's we have plenty of stuff in the arsenal that we next stages and evolutions, and the focus is to just bring ultimate reliability, more functionality, probably some basically simplification on installation. That's the biggest thing we can do, because there's no way to argue that installing height sensors it's tricky. Like, it takes time, and it sometimes you'll get it wrong on your first try and break one, or but the value of having that height sensor is unarguable. It's the only way to get a vehicle level. I mean, pressure based stuff is a total joke. Temperature affects it, and load affects it, and it's not a good way to gauge height. That's not how any factory car with air suspension gauges height. They all use a height sensor. But, we need to streamline how that height sensor gets installed. So, I mean, the cool thing for the truck market is, most of the chassis and most of the front and rear clip guys now are, building in height sensor mounts, so that it's not this long, laborious process to get them installed, because it's the same for every truck. So why not? So that helps on a lot of that. And then we're working on some other kind of next level improvements on the height sensing side. So
isn't it cool to think that the aftermarket not only you being aftermarket, but then people build things around you. You know, like CTP and the act tray, and then the control arms have little sensors, and you have little tabs and little things because they know that they're going to do it. And so it's like, well, you got to have a ride sensor here. It's like your height sensor. It's like here it goes. So let's do it. And to think that people do that based upon something that you've made.
Oh, it's cool, man. Definitely. And seeing the finished products are always the best, man. I love going to shows, or even if you get to see one in like in the wild, I call it, just in a parking lot or something, you walk up to just some badass truck and it's got your product. It's just cool. It's definitely, it's why we do this. Like, we could do a lot of other things with the team and the skill that we have, but we continue to stay focused on this market because it's what we enjoy. It's what we're all passionate about. And I think we've got an edge because we are passionate. We are enthusiasts ourselves. So we're designing something that we would want in our own car. You know what I mean? It's very, a lot of our competitors, fortunately, are not like that. Like, they're run by a board, or, they're not car people a lot of the time. And so it definitely gives us an advantage, and it keeps us going too. Like, work, you don't want work to feel like a job. You want to be passionate about it. Every morning you get up and get to work, you want to enjoy what you're doing. And we enjoy it because it's like, it's cool. I don't really cool people too. Like, that's the other side of it. Like, if we have some of the coolest customers in the world, I feel like, and it's it makes it enjoyable because it's, we have good relationships with them. It's like it's more than just about the product. I realize, like, it really, there's definitely the relationship kind of bond side of things, and the way that we take care of our customers, the way that we do tech support, the way that we service our product if we need to, or all those kind of things. It's the whole picture, like, that matters, and that's pretty crazy.
I think that's probably what gets you through the last 2 years. And like you said earlier, some of those 20-hour days where you're going and you think, this is more than just me. This is my team here. This is my people, my customers. And like you said, it's people are definitely passionate about AccuAir.
Yeah, exactly. And we have a lot of, we do have a big team now. So, like, a lot of people are counting on us, and there's a ton of weight on my shoulders. Like, it's not an option, I don't think. Part of being a entrepreneur and a leader is you have to toe the rope, man. You got to pull the line. And I feel like if we need to do 20 hours, if I need to do 20 hours, like, I'll do it. That's just, you got to get it done. And I feel like you can never really ask your employees to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. If the bathroom needs to get cleaned or whatever it is, like, you got to lead by demonstration. And so, I work my ass off when I need to, and I usually need to. So
yeah, I'll be at the bar. Yeah, right. I want you guys to all stay an extra 6 hours. Let me know.
That doesn't really work.
Let me know how it goes. Oh, I trust the guys. They're going to be fine. They're going to get it done. Yeah. So what about lead time? How are things? I know there was a point where you guys were really trying to get caught up. Are you guys caught up?
Yeah, we are, man. We're finally, like, as I speak right now, this week, the guys at home are shipping at lead time. So we're at about 30 days on a new CVT order. We also are finally at a point where a lot of our dealers have them on the shelf, which is sweet because, they were pretty much, they were back ordered for a long time too, so they had their orders in with us, but then they didn't have anything on the shelf. So as soon as we would ship, they'd ship to the customer. And so now it's like, there's actually guys I know that have it on the shelf. In fact, some in Arizona I saw here. So yeah. That's good news. And then, if you're ordering direct through us, it's we're down to 30 days, and it's going to get even better. We'll get it down to a couple weeks here in the next probably month. So,
and just in time for SEMA, because really you got to feel good about getting to this point now. Yeah. And then a few months, it gives your team a time frame to be, all right, now we need to switch modes, because you guys definitely have reputation, the car corral, your booth. It's coveted. It's the fun. I like to kind of almost say it's where the cool kids hang out, and it's a lot of fun. I love being outside and just looking at all the cool cars that are in the corral and
I'll
hanging out.
What, this year we have more badass cars, that wanted to be in our car corral than we've ever had. Yeah. And it was kind of painful to have to turn some people away that had just incredible builds, but the stuff that's going to be in there is going to be jaw-dropping. Trucks and cars and the whole thing. And then, our booth cars is getting finished up now too. I think it'll be interesting. It's a little different for us, but it should be pretty killer. So, you said
booth car, so I'm already playing into this. It's a booth car.
Yeah. We've had a lot of booth trucks, I feel like, and don't worry, there'll be plenty of trucks in the corral, but we just decided for a car this year, and it's kind of funny, the general audience walking through SEMA, they all appreciate trucks, but I feel like a car, especially like a classic car, everybody can relate to. You know what I mean? So there are some people that will just walk right by a classic pickup or, an older truck and just not even realize what we do or what air suspension is or what the whole purpose of us being there. So, our decision for what we put in our booth every year is it's not easy, but it's based on a lot of things that are, business direction or who we're trying to get after, what new market we're trying to grow. So it's not always as straightforward as what is the nicest option that we can have in the booth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you guys have a reputation too. I mean, there's a level of, what's in the AccuAir. I'm sure you get a lot of people that submit and want to be in your booth or in the car corral, and I'm thinking people are honored no matter what, to be involved with, though I kind of think that's like 6-7 spots you guys handle, plus there's spots throughout that go on. I know people even throughout there, a lot going on, and it can only imagine being, I've got to manage my company, and I'm managing CVT, and I'm managing ENDO, and managing so much, and then I've got to deal with other stuff trying to make everybody happy, because I can only imagine how many people submit every time, and it probably gets to be a lot. But
it's not easy. I mean, I've got a couple guys that help on the media side and on our kind of, booth planning side and everything else. But it ends up, a lot of it falls on me as well. So, it's not easy. We have to choose a car and a builder that we know is going to get there.
Yeah.
And so a track record of, getting cars finished on time and at a level that, SEMA's a pretty big stage. You can't bring something that's like half finished or that's not like the last, like we were talking about earlier, like the last 5% or whatever. It's got to be pretty dialed. And so that also comes into the equation. We got to choose somebody for a spot. They got to really come through. So, but we've got a pretty long history in this industry. It's been 17 years now. So we kind of know the best, I think. I feel like we work with some of the best guys that are out there builder wise and, stuff like that. So we do our homework, and sometimes we'll miss. Like I'll admit, there's been a couple misses in the past where something comes and it's like, it should have been a little more finished or a little better. And I understand the challenge. Like, dude, everybody's trying to build stuff in a crazy short amount of time, and and everybody faces hurdles. Oh, we're not going to get this one last part until 2 weeks before the show, and then we got to paint after that, and it's
it's a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, that's why we don't build cars. Like that's the thing. We've built cars for SEMA a couple of times and realized really quickly, like, oh, dude, we don't have the bandwidth to handle this. Like we need to just focus on our booth and like our products and really why try to build a cool car when our customers build the coolest cars out there.
Yeah.
Like, so that's our new plan. We're sticking to it. I mean, we still have a couple messes around the shop from previous SEMAs that are like,
well, I know you guys are enthusiasts as well. So being an enthusiast and a hobbyist, that's kind of where I find myself sometimes. It's like, you're walking around seeing all the craziness I got going on here, from the house to some truck projects to C10 Talk. And it's like, hey, pick a few things you're good at and be good at them versus being crazy. So AccuAir CVT's kicking butt. You guys are ready to ship. I mean, you're 30-day out. Lead time's good.
Yeah.
Everything's looking good out there. I know a lot of the suppliers that I see are really, hey, it's all going good. Is there, kind of to wrap it up, is there anything that you let the C10 Nation know? AccuAir's here. We're kicking butt on everything, and it's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, we're the most caught up on lead time that we've been. Super happy with where the product's at technically and reliability wise. I mean, the thing is next level. Like that, the technical stuff going on inside of there is a big deal. Wabco, our compressor manufacturer, has really come through for us, and they're really impressed by CVT, which says a lot because they're Germans and usually pretty prideful about their designs versus other people's designs, and we've gotten some accolades from them, which is really cool. So they kind of sign off on the whole idea, and they're kind of blown away by it. So it should be interesting to see what comes of that. Like they definitely, they service the OE market a lot more, and so sure would be cool if CVT came on a new car someday.
Yeah.
So, there's super exciting stuff happening, and I think we're at a great point for the market. Like you said, we're shipping on time and things are kind of dialed in, and technically I think we got the instruction manuals good. We got some videos on like compressor upgrade and things like that. But I'm doing all the tech support right now, and I probably will for a while, just because I know all the technical aspects, and I want to stay connected with anything that's happening in the field. I want to make sure I'm translating that into product adjustments if we need to, and also because of my knowledge, just being able to service people really quickly right now. I want to make sure that as many of these can get installed and out on the road as possible to just get the word out basically. And so if you send a tech support question, you might be talking to me.
Like, no, it's not really Reno. No, it really is. Yeah. No, it's me. It's like, the
good news about that is I tend to get to the bottom of things pretty quickly because I've been doing it for a long time.
So you kind of are you able to really diagnose quick and is it insulation? Do you think a lot of times?
A lot of times, I mean, there's no doubt that I'm looking for certain product issues. We've had different versions of product that have shipped, and so just making sure that if there is something going on the vehicle that it's or with the CVT that it's pretty quickly I can get out of the way. Is it installation related or is it not? We can do a couple tests, and if it's not, we'll just replace it real quick. And because we're at a learning stage, there's no doubt that we can, no matter how much we test, once it gets in the field, you're going to learn new things. And so if something weird happens, we got to get it back, take it apart, figure out what's going on inside, and make adjustments if we need to. But most of that's behind us. I feel like we've done a lot of learning at this point, and the thing is pretty dialed in. So I think it's pretty cool. You gotta get one on one of your trucks.
That means it's good time. Well, I've got one. It's out there. I think that means really good for the customer too, to say well, you guys have worked through some of the initial phases. I know you've had different level of rollouts.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, we're at a good phase. My tech questions are starting to look, that list is shrinking down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's the same 3 things, so I can manage that quick. And that's good for guys like me on the other end that are saying, and you're like, boom, boom. It's simple. It's easy. Check this. And you've worked through those trial and errors. Yeah,
and we fixed, there's so many things that we have fixed in the evolution of this new product compared to our, our older, separate valve, like the VU4, that's out there in high volume. And so we fixed, we added screens to all the inlets and outlets so you can't get debris inside. And there's things like that are going to be nice for, reducing tech support over time.
Longevity of it.
Exactly. Just, right, with the amount of VU4s out there, there's no doubt that over a certain amount of years, somebody's going to get something stuck in that thing, and they're going to have to clean it out, and we're going to have to explain how to do it, and we can send a service kit if we need to, and it's not the end of the world, but it takes labor on our side. And so our goal is to just get it to where it's the thing's bulletproof for the life of the product. And I feel like the CVT's got a lot of that kind of stuff built in, and then some of the feature stuff that it's got is just crazy cool. Most people aren't even really fully utilizing it yet, but the flow controls and stuff where you can just tune how fast the vehicle moves and get the thing to lift level front to rear. That it's always been a thing on trucks. It's light in the rear, so the rear goes up first and then the front comes up. And if you have the E-level system, that keeps it kind of somewhat within bounds, but it still is this little bit of a seesaw motion. And with the flow controls, you can just adjust it, slow the rear down on the way up and slow the front down on the way down, and get the thing to just move level. Then you calibrate the E-level system, and it's just this nice glassy thing. So that's a little thing, but it's kind of such a big deal in the end, and how the system performs and works on a daily basis for you. So
some reason Yellowstone's different. It's heavier in the back. So some reason it's got a problem. It's way too damn heavy in the back, but it does seesaw a little bit. Obviously, I've got the older system on there. I think it's rad because, going back to our interview at SEMA, And then where you look at now, you know, we were sitting, you know, freaking butt cheek to butt cheek, and we did it. We made it happen. It's been one of the easily the most listened to pods that we've had.
Nice.
And now to have you in studio and to know that you are where you are now, it's got to feel good. And
is there a reason that you set me so far away from you this time? Like, were you
I
feeling
don't know. I was putting my moves on you. You've had a few kids since last time. So, all right, dude. Thanks for coming by. We're gonna kick this out. I don't know when it'll get out exactly, and I'm gonna put them out in the next couple of days, and just kind of, you know, really it's a sponsor spotlight, but it's really about support. It's about support for C10 Nation and C10 Talk, and it's about us giving support back to the people that support us.
Exactly.
And for the listener and the audience out there, if you want the best, it's one of those things where I look at, you know, cheapest price or best deal or lowest bid is not always the best equipment. And really with what you guys have here, look at all the builders, look at the guys that are running AccuAir, and just do yourself a favor. I mean, it's really a no-brainer. And he said it a few times, but it's next level, and there's a reason why. If you're going to do it right, save yourself the headache. AccuAir.
Thank you. Thanks, C10 Nation. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Ronnie. This place is awesome. Thanks for the tour.
All right, we got to get some. I gotta go sling some gear over his way now. So we're out. Late, guys.
See ya.
All right, guys. We've got Aaron Stritzel from CPP Classic Performance Products to tell us a little bit about what's going on over there at CPP. So many different irons in the fire. You guys have a lot of different options to upgrade for the C10 Nation. Aaron, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, so what's going on? I know the Coil Over has been huge. That's a new thing. We ran into everybody over at the C10 Nationals, and we talked to some different folks about everything you guys got going on. How's that Coil Over stuff working out?
Oh, it's great. It's hard to keep on the shelf. You guys have really got a clue that that's in from the C10 Nationals. They're just they're selling, they're buying them quicker than we can build them at the moment. It's an awesome setup. That's full adjustability of suspension, and you guys are really, really liking the true bolt-on kit that we made there for those.
And literally, that's exactly what it is, right? You want to go coil over, you can get this kit 63 to 87 for the front, 63 to 72 for the rear. And are you working on the 73 to 87 stuff for the rear?
They are eventually going to come out with the correct bracketry and stuff to build those like we have for our trailing arm conversion kit we do already for just a leaf to coil spring setup. So we'll have bracketry and shock crossmember stuff that's also coil over compatible for those. And then the rear kits like the C10 63 to 72 stuff, you get a couple different choices and drops. The bracketry will go from 0 drop to 3-inch, and then we also do a bracket that goes from 3 to 5 with the proper coil over. That's a dual adjustable setup, so fully adjustable, not just ride height, but you have compression and rebound adjustments. So ultimately, you have as many adjustments as you could put in it, so you're able to fine tune the ride to exactly what the purpose is, from street driving to track use and anywhere in between. You get a really nice setup that lets you fine tune it to your liking.
And you're going to obviously use the world-famous CPP modular spindle on that, correct?
Yes, sir. The modular spindle works well with those. With the front setup, you're able to go with your traditional 63 to 70 ball joint type, all the way up to 87, the different year span. So the control arms we sell, see in the front, you can do either a basic coilover kit for the guy that has the arm already. It's a simple, slight fabrication modification lower arm for the coilover mount. So you're able to use your existing CPP arm without having to buy a new one. You could do it that way, or we offer a kit with the lower arm only with the coilover, or we do a complete kit, upper, lower arms, coilovers, and all of those come with the proper mounting points for the coilover into the frame. It's a pretty simple modification to the upper coil pocket. The only thing you really got to do is you got to drill out I believe it's a 4-inch hole saw hole through the upper part of the original coil spring mount to bolt ours in, and then straight from there it's all simple bolt-in stuff.
Wow. Yeah, it's obviously the easier the better, and you're going to get the performance. I feel like the C10, community, obviously the C10 Nation, and with autocross and the popularity of that, the coilover stuff has really taken hold in these trucks.
Oh, for sure. We we introduced that right before that C10 Nationals. That, I mean, for that big a show, that's the only show we ever had to bring 2 trailers full of parts. You guys are buying up all that stuff. So every other show we do, we'd load 1 trailer. That was a 2-show trailer, but we go to that show with our C10 that we've used with Week to Wicked project, and we won the autocross with that on that brand new system that was proven by us already, but still new to the market for you guys. So fully product tested, everything done before it came to the market. So yeah, and we drove it a lot around there. The thing's been back and forth to Vegas a few times, different shows. So it's comfortable to get on the road with the adjustability of the coilover. You can fine tune it for real thin sidewall tires, so you can take some of the harshness out of it through the coilover. Just a really nice setup for all-around performance.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I think it's Sadie, Jim's daughter, but she was pedal to the metal. If that's her name, she was definitely pedal to the metal that weekend.
Oh, yeah, that is Sadie for sure. No, she's a great driver. She does real well in the autocross. She can hang with anybody out there, really. She handles all those cars, from our Camaro to the Tri-5 to the C10. You'll see her at all these shows with us in autocross. She's having a blast and doing real well.
Good. Now, if you're going to go fast, you're going to autocross, you're thinking coilover, you got to be able to stop, and CPP's got you covered there too.
Oh, yeah. We do anything from a traditional 12-inch brake for you 15-inch wheel guys to a 14-inch 6-piston / 4-piston rear kit with a 13-inch brake. Pretty much can set up any brake system to your needs. From our traditional 13-inch, 12-inch kit that works with 17-inch and larger wheels, uses their OE-style brake pads, calipers, dual 52-millimeter piston calipers. It's been a real popular kit for us, so we use a lot of those. We just came out with our 6-piston 14-inch kit for the front and a 4-piston 13-inch kit for the back that is really a nice piece that's for real all-out performance, road use and track use, but you can also get friction from the auto parts store from that one. It uses a Corvette-style friction, so no need to special or any kind of brake pads when you're using these things. So we like to keep the consumer with parts they can get locally with a lot of our kits. So we keep things simple when it comes to that, but performance-wise, we can pretty much set up any brake system to your needs. And then on top of that, with the HydraStops we use, we do our Street Beasts and our Showstoppers, kind of makes the whole system, whole package setup. Doing a hydraulic assist system versus a traditional vacuum booster. A lot of performance motors, creating low vacuum with higher lift cams and stuff. Hydraulic assist works strictly off of power steering fluid. It shares it with the power steering gear, runs the line in series. So you have an accumulator set up for any kind of pressure differences. So if you have say the engine stalls, the power assist kit has an accumulator that'll store a good 2 or 3 pumps of the pedal of full power, and then after that it turns into a manual. So it's not like your traditional vacuum booster that if you lost power or something, it would cut the vacuum. You'd have a rock hard pedal that gives you a nice stopping power still through that. But kind of got off a little subject there. The brake kit itself benefits real well with that hydraulic assist. You have up to 1,800 psi at the wheel pressure to those calipers, where a traditional vacuum booster, you're putting anywhere between 900 and 1,100 psi with really good vacuum. So your braking power increases from just even on a simple 12-inch brake, you'll feel a big difference, but tremendous difference on a big brake system. They work awesome. They're affordable. They're very maintenance-free, simple setups that are new to our market in the hot rod and truck industry, but the technology has been used in pickups and stuff since, I believe, the late 90s. So hydraulic assist is where we're finding a lot of the brake systems we sell here at CPP and a lot of our dealers use, that they're more and more getting more popular than a traditional vacuum setup because of, again, the use of them being so easy to set up and then having not to rely on any kind of vacuum pressure a motor is not producing.
Well, I think you're right on track. I think if you're going to have a big brake and you want to have some sort of assistance with that, and the HydraStop, the Street Beast is these guys are looking to upgrade to, you know, a lot of guys want the best stuff. And so if you can get that and you can double your PSI going from that 9 to 11 to 1800, why the hell not?
Yeah, and it's just the fact of it's not really even a big expense. By the time you really think about it, if you were to buy a regular vacuum booster and then find out that you don't have enough vacuum to supply it, you're in a pump to create a supplemental vacuum pump to create the proper pressure, another $300, let's say. So it's really not much more just to do it right the first time, and just instead of buying twice, buy once, and you're only a couple $100 difference at that point. So it's really truly affordable just from the get-go to go that way. It's not, like I said, it's not much more money.
I like what you said there. So instead of buying twice, buy once. Well, you do research twice and then buy once. You know, measure twice, cut once. This is what he's telling you to do. Now, a lot of our listeners, Aaron, are first timers. I'll give you a perfect example. My son, he's got a 66 he just picked up from his grandpa, and he's got drum brakes. It's still sitting at stock height. Some of these guys, you know, we might be talking about autocross and some heavy duty stuff, but you know, some guys might just want to upgrade to a basic 5-6 lug disc brake conversion from drum, maybe give it a little height adjustment. Obviously that's one of CPP's, you know, backbone. You guys got a lot of history with that suspension upgrade.
Oh, for sure. I mean, anything from the traditional 11-inch or 12-inch brake setup, I mean, that is still to the day, it's still popular, a very popular setup going, let's say we did with the coil overs in the front, going traditional coil spring shocks, just old school, but still a good ride, just doing a standard drop, 12-inch brake, 15-inch wheel setup. I mean, if you're building more of a traditional ride just to cruise in, you want to be able to stop as well or better than the guy in front of you, obviously. So you're going to, the 12-inch brake, even just a front brake package with a simple booster or even the hydraulic assist, depending on how sport or how performance-based your motor is. I mean, anything from entry-level systems, everyday type use, to the full track, and I mean the higher-end components when you're talking the 14 and 13-inch brakes. I mean, we can help any which way you decide to go. Whatever way you decide to build your truck, we can certainly help you. We can help you guide you through it as well.
You know, how does somebody, do you recommend them just going to the website, which is classicperform.com? Do you guys, is there a mailing list we can make sure these guys get a catalog sent out to them? I know sometimes in the magazines, you guys will have a double, triple, you know, layout, and you get to see a lot of stuff there. Can they reach out and then get a catalog sent out to them?
Yeah, you can get on our mailing list from the main page of the website. Our website has a lot of the latest products on the main page. It is a little behind at the moment, but we actually did build the new product section in a new catalog we just came out with that is available for download, or as well as having us mail you a copy. We can set that up. We like to have people call in for that. Then we can get an opportunity of maybe going over specific needs and maybe answer questions ahead of time than just simply getting the book in their hands, which is always good to just have you have a catalog, but get everything set up to where you call in and we can go over that, just maybe help you ahead of time, just not having to wait for that book.
Well, one thing you mentioned right there is tech and the support behind it. So if you have an issue, they've been doing this a long time. If you got a problem, the R&D is behind the products, but hey, you might have a question about install, something like that. You can reach out to these guys. You can call Aaron, and they'll walk you right through it.
Absolutely.
Okay, Aaron, anything else to add?
Just our product line is growing and growing. I mean, we do a lot of components for gas tanks, LS conversions, modern power plants. So you just take a look at our classicperform.com, give us a call, get you a catalog. Just like to hear from you.
Yeah, exactly. You got the LS engine conversions all the time. You've got the different brackets there. You've got the aluminum fuel tanks. They've got so many different, steering boxes you want to upgrade. How about a steering, a column? You're going to need a column. Rear end, they offer the Curry rear ends. I mean, really, you can almost build a whole truck with the catalog alone, at least the frame suspension that they offer. When you go to SEMA, when you go to SEMA, It's all laid out right there. When you go to the truck shows, that's why they're bringing the 1 trailer, the 2 trailers. And remember, you guys, you save 10% at checkout. C10 Talk right off the top. You're going to spend a lot of money. It's your money. It's hard-earned money. They want to hook you up. You're listening to C10 Talk. You punch in C10 Talk at the end. You save 10%. I mean, 10% of these orders can get up there, and 10%. That's you're saving. That's more than beer money, and you can utilize that money to buy more parts. And that's maybe a little bit. 50% of your savings goes to beer. 50% goes back into parts. You do with what you want. Aaron, thanks for coming on the show today, and thanks for your support.
All right, again, thanks for having us, and let us know if we can help with anything.
All right, Aaron. Take care, buddy.
Thank you.